best way to understand something is to teach it. The Diary of a CEO opens up with this chapter just talking about the best way to understand something is to teach it. And he explains how every room, in every single room, the person who is teaching the topic is the person who is learning the most. Think about it. That was big for me, bruv. And the reason behind it is I was thinking of all these professors that always teach us a lot. I studied nursing. It's crazy. I just graduated last week. But so in nursing college, we have all these professors, and obviously professors have different levels, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. At least depending on the student's perspective. Some people say that these guys are the best, some people say that these guys are the best. But we all agree on that some people know a lot of knowledge than some others. They understand the topic in depth more than the others. So in these certain situations, I don't know, the moment I read that line, it just hit me. I said, that guy, how was he learning more than me? And he was talking a lot in depth, all about all these, you know, in nursing, we have a lot of details about the cells and reanimation and all this anesthesia and all this, you know, products and machinery and stuff that you can go all in depth on. And he was going all in depth on, right? And the nervous system and how this works. And I was just, you can almost be mind boggled of how much information he has. I was just thinking of how is he the #1 person who learns the most? Also, simultaneously, I was thinking of this channel. This channel, WhiTeeee Galaxy, is, I'd say, arguably the first official channel that I ever had that I teach. I had another channel. I had two, but let's just say one, because they're pretty much the same journey, just different parts, 2 different channels, whatever. But it was Moroccan, but that is more of entertainment. Maybe one time, you know, upon a time, I do an educational video. But this channel was from the get-go educational. It's all education in here. And I'm now even including a little bit of education in my Moroccan content, but really not even close. I can't even sit here in Moroccan and actually teach anything, right? I don't want that. I don't like it. Here I teach things. Because here I can teach even the topics that are more complex, and I just believe that somebody will understand it. From Moroccan, I'm just almost disappointed. I'm like, nobody will understand what I'm talking about. And people just comment, and when they meet me in real life, they're like, oh, you're talking about too much complicated content that the normal people won't really understand. I'm like, okay, I didn't even say anything. But, long story short, get back to the point. Here, I just found out that one of the ways that I was understanding the topic so deeply is because I was teaching them on this channel. I was talking about discipline and hardships and shit. I was talking about all these topics that I live by from a daily basis. How to learn a fucking language. I live by this shit. I'm learning my 5th language now. English is not even my mother language. It's my 2nd. People say it's my 3rd language. Because French is my academic language, right? I studied all my life with French. You understand? I graduated with French, in French. I do everything in French in my career, in my educational academic career. I still in myself, I believe that English is my 2nd language. Other people, my friend included, or my colleagues, they say French is your 2nd language, naturally. That's how it is, that's how it goes. So now I'm learning my 5th language. So all the things that I teach about in this channel is things that I learn the most about. Books. I always teach books. I always learn the most from books. I teach how to read a book. I remember a video that was an outlier at some point about 1 or 2 years ago. And it got me a little bit more views. Usually I got like 0 to 1 views, and that video got like 164 views. And I said, oh my God, people are loving this video. And the title was how I learned 10 books. I read 10 books so you don't have to or something. And I read books every day. And in my videos, I teach you how to read books every day. And I read books every fucking day. I don't even think about it. I just go through my to-do list that pops up every day naturally, that also I've taught on this channel, and I just do it. So it just makes sense that I'm learning the most out of this. You understand? Does that make sense? Does that make any sense? Does it? It does, right? So I'm thinking about all these topics that I'm teaching. Boom, right? Another example. In my thesis, I have a thesis presentation service that I've been doing in about 2 years. And I would say for about at least the last 1 year, I was making courses of how to make a thesis. Didn't upload a single one of them. But I was making courses, I was filming them and preparing them and scripting them and filming and editing and uploading them, just not publicly. I understood more of those fucking theses that I would ever have ever done with all of the people, tens of people that I worked thesis for and made thesis for. And that's the fucking reason why I got the first in class in thesis presentations in my thesis. I was the first in class. I was genuinely debating with teacher in methodology. Debating, just talking. He's talking and I'm like, oh yeah, I understand this and blah, blah, blah. I was that good that everybody was talking to me. I got the highest grades, not even, I mean, I'm pretty sure I got the highest grade in years. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I assume. I mean, at least I know that I got the highest grade in this year and last year. Because usually the highest grade they can give you is 18 out of 20. I got 19 out of 20. I wanted a 20, I asked for 20. They said, well, actually they don't give a 20, right? So the highest you can get is 18.5. The highest you can get is 18. You can barely, just like barely with a miracle, you can get 18.5. I got 19, right? That's how good I am. But because I taught it so much, obviously, also because I've done it for 40 students, I made them and I made more than 140 presentations, and also I'm good myself with, you know, Word and PowerPoint and all of that, and also I'm pretty good with technology, and also I have a good team, and also I did all of that. But the main thing is that, because if you ask me about anything about bullshit, I can understand you confidently. You understand? Does that make sense? So the more you teach, the more you learn. And the crazy thing, you teach by learning. You learn by teaching. The moment you learn, you sort of, it's almost as if your brain is thinking and producing this information instead of just consuming it, which gives you or puts you to a higher level of understanding the topic more deeply, because you start connecting the information you have with already established info that you already have before. So it's even more rooted deeply in your mind, in your brain, in your subconscious. So the next time you're going to teach it even better. I mean, in this channel, I have taught so many topics, so many different ways, so many different times. And every time I teach it just in a better way. Just a little bit better. Not because I'm getting better or learning or whatever, just because it did it. And my mind is already adapted somehow in the background, does some weird shit of training, whatever. So now all I gotta do it again or just do it anyway. And that's the importance of learning. So going back to the first point, opening up the book, The Diary of a CEO, and I was like, let me give it a shot. And he talks about learning and how learning is important, and probably it is the most important skill, and how actually you can learn, or the best way to learn is actually to teach. And he was explaining how he taught and blah, 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 all this shit. And he actually, in his podcast, he has a podcast also called The Diary of a CEO, how he actually teaches a lot of topics and he ended up actually understanding those topics even more deeply, more understandably. And he also explains how that's the thing that actually got me. He explains how the richest people in the world in history, especially the people who we're talking breakthroughs, all of them, he gave a bunch of examples, all of them, they were teachers, they were professors in their whatever called industry. It doesn't have to be some sort of crazy professor in Harvard, but they just had in some way they were teaching people. In some way, somehow, somewhat. He was talking about all these Greek people. I don't like them that much, right? I don't like, it's not that I don't like Greece or Greek people. I don't like Stoicism, to be precise. But I got the point. So I don't like Greek philosophies. I don't like Stoicism. Others, maybe. If it's like high work and ever, I don't like fuck Greek philosophy, bro. Anyway. That's controversial. That might get me into trouble. But anyway, you got the point. Okay? So, all of these people in history, and I'm pretty sure he done the research or he figured it out or he just gave example. I don't give a fuck, but it just made sense to me. You can read the book or maybe I reread it again and mention it in another video. But the point is, all the people that have made so much breakthroughs in history were teachers. They were teaching the topic that they were understanding, or at least that they specialized in afterwards. Because somehow when we teach a topic, we understand it in a better way, we understand it in depth. And I think what's crazy, or what's even more important, is that it exposes your indeficiencies, or I'm not gonna respond, I'm not gonna lie, someone's calling, fuck them. Because this is my class. And if I'm in my class, someone call me, he's gotta wait. That's how built different I am. But the moment you understand and you teach actually the topic that exposed your indeficiencies or your deficiencies, is like your weak points, deficiencies. So your weak points, you just have them, but you can't really notice them because you're never exposing. You're never actually laying down all the information that you have in a way where you can say, actually I have a hole here. Actually I have a black hole here. Actually I have a big gap in here. So I have all this information, but it's not complete. So I have to fill this gap and this gap and this gap. To fill in this gap, I have to take this course, and I have to talk to these people for this, and actually I have to reread this book about this, and I have to actually to work on myself on this. I have to analyze myself for this point, and now after that I will have a more complete version. Then I will teach it again because it's a better version. Then look at it, and while I'm teaching, I'm like, why, right? I mean, let's say a perfect scenario, you're actually teaching to people and people are asking you, oh, hi, professor, or, in informal places, hey, why did you say that? That doesn't make any sense. I disagree with you. I mean, brother, my friend is an engineer in cybersecurity. All right, he's like my best friend. He's the best in the world in like cybersecurity. He always teaches me about cybersecurity and AI. Always. Right? Just the thing that happens. And think about it. Brother, I'm gonna give you such a good example. Yesterday, I went to this meeting, or it's like a TED Talk, but it's not really. It's called a Digitalk. It's like a TED Talk, but some sort of small version in Morocco, in a small town in East Morocco called WhiTeeee. It's a very small version of TED Talk. But it's more, let's say, dynamic. It's more like you can talk to the creators or the people that are actually, going to make the expose, the presentation. So with this Digitalk, we're talking about AI and business and CEOs and some financial stuff, and also content creation, which is I was the most interested in that panel because those are the people that I know the most. And I talked to them a lot. Actually filmed a lot of the videos. I filmed a lot, actually. I was just asking them questions and people that were asking them questions. And I'm not talking about the formal presentation where they were on stage. I'm talking off stage, hanging out a little bit. People were taking pictures. I got pictures with all of them. Also, I got to ask them a lot of good questions, at least the men. I didn't ask the girls, I'm not gonna lie. So, because the men, I was the ones that I know the most. And also, you just relate to men more as a man, so you can do that. And also with girls, she was pretty much swamped with girls, so I'm not sure if I really want to ask her any questions. But with men, I'm talking, just for context, these are the most famous fucking content creators in the country. You understand? The most fucking famous content creators. The most fucking famous content creators in the country. The biggest. And I was talking to them, asking them a lot of questions on how to monetize. I even asked one of them about this channel. I said, hey, actually, you know, I have a Moroccan channel, whatever, but also I have an English channel that I started about a few years ago, and I made a lot of videos, and I have like 300 subscribers. My videos gets about 0 to 4 views, and he said, I could have never took that risk. It's just hard. He says, because the people, what they think is that because there's so much people, you think that the moment you're gonna start speaking in English, you're just gonna be exposed to all these people. What happens is that there is a lot of competition. It's gonna really show up. He said, I can never do what he did. I said, should I stop? He said, actually, I just recommend you to do Moroccan content. Anyway, so I'm just saying this. But what I really realized, and I was thinking about this in the morning, I was asking myself, I went to this Digitalk, whatever, and I spent the whole day with them. What have I learned? If I haven't learned anything, it means that that was useless. I just filmed a couple videos and took up a couple pictures, and that's all I got from it. I hope not. I hope not. I genuinely hope not. These are the most biggest creators in the country. I have to learn something from them. I've been doing this YouTube for 8-9 years now. I have to learn something from them. Or content creation in general. Okay, they were talking about skills. Skills. They were talking about skills to the point that almost it feels like as if they were worshiping it. And they were almost just laughing. They said, you just gotta work on your skills, learn more, learn more. And even some of them were on the stage, and actually I was sitting with them basically. So you go on stage and you come back to the rows of it's almost like a theater. It's a theater. And there's a lot of chairs in the audience, whatever. In the front chairs are people who present set, and I was sitting with them. This was amongst them. So even when someone was presenting, I had to see all the reaction of the other biggest content creators that are not currently presenting. And the moment someone talks about learning, skills development, or learning skills, they all nod. Aggressively nod. They're like, I'm telling you, it's almost as if they're worshiping, and I'm not joking. I'm genuinely serious. And in the morning I was thinking, what have I learned? Actually, I have to sit down and write on the desk things that I've learned. At least 3 bullet points that I can practice exactly from yesterday. And the first thing that came to mind, man, skills, learning. Second thing that I've noticed, they were fucking talking non-stop for all the hours they were there, bruv. Not on stage, but with us, right? I was asking questions, they were answering for fucking 2 hours? At least that what it felt like, I don't know, because I wasn't really paying attention to the time. I was very concentrated, trying to milk that fucking cow, really learn. It's the first time in my life, please understand this, it's the first time in my life that I met such a big content creators. It is the first time in my life that I have a fucking opportunity to talk to them and ask them questions, and also film with them. So that's the biggest opportunity that I've ever had in my life, to learn from such people that are the biggest fucking people in my country in content creation. I had to learn from them. And they were teaching, different people, the girl was teaching, this guy was teaching, this man was teaching. I'm like, fuck, they don't stop. And now, as I'm fucking making this video, I came to the realization, they learned the most because they were teaching. And the moment I started this session, and I said, the person who learns the most is the person who teaches, I just remembered yesterday, instantly. How was he learning the most while talking the most? It's because of what I'm teaching right now. And I didn't understand it yesterday. I said, if I was him, I probably wouldn't give as much time to the audience. Yeah, if you want to take a picture, but I'm not going to stay with you for an hour answering your questions, whatever questions you have. But that's what gives you such a deep understanding of a subject. It's actually the ability to teach, or the action to teach. Just teaching it for an extended period of time, in various ways, in different manners, to different people, in different times. different topics, different viewpoints, different perspectives, different rejections or arguments. That what actually gives you such a deep understanding of a topic. And this is one of the reasons why I think, even if you think about it, right? This is why someone like Andrew Carnegie in the last century, he was writing books. You know the books. Like How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those are his. He wrote them. Andrew Carnegie, at some point, he was the richest man in the world. Then he became the second richest man. But we're talking about the richest man in the world, writing books. Why? Because he was teaching. He understood the value of teaching. Because the moment you start teaching the topic, you understand it the most. And I love this topic, or this quote from Alex Hormozi, this idea from Alex Hormozi. And also I was talking about it, I was thinking about it in the morning. So here's the context or story. Yesterday, with those content creators, the biggest content creators in the country, I actually filmed almost all the conversation. And also they had the DJI mic, so the audio quality was good. I didn't look at them, but I know the quality was good. The camera quality is good. It was very perfect. And I asked them a lot of good questions. And I know those are so valuable to me because I ask them really the questions that I fucking want to know. I need to know. My friends need to know. Those are the questions that I need to know. Not want to know, I need to know. It's questions that I ask them. And I was thinking maybe I can upload them on social media on YouTube. Even if it's not on the main channel. They're Moroccan, so I'm not going to upload them there. But in my Moroccan channel, I have a main channel, which is the big channel. I have like 103,000. I have another channel that's old, like the oldest, like since I started, it has like 1,000. But I can upload them, and instantly I said, but fuck, that's the most valuable information that I have. Because that's generally all, those are the questions that I needed. Is the questions that I asked. And that moment I remembered Alex Hormozi talking about, if you want to teach something and you're afraid, that is what's valuable. And that is exactly what you should give away. That is exactly what you teach. And the same thing with the presentation service that I taught you about. The moment I started teaching, even though I didn't upload it, but whenever I was filming as if I'm going to share it anyway. But the moment I started thinking as, I'm going to lay down all my information, I was intrinsically afraid. It's like, fuck, I'm going to give all my secrets. But the fucking thing is, the moment I taught them, it's almost as if I attracted from the universe new information. I just become way better. Way better. Way better. Brother, way better. Just deeper understanding. I understand now more depth about thesis than ever before in my life. I'm pretty sure about 99.9% of the people. About different topics, different points, because I got in depth of all the different points to actually teach those topics. And that's what gives you the fucking unfair advantages of just understanding the topic so deeply, more than every fucking else that people just learn and consume information about. And with this, I'll end this, because as one quote that's from the Richest Man by Babylon, he says, "This is enough to make a sheep herder a money lender." This is enough to make a sheep herder a money lender. This is enough to make a sheep herder a money lender. I'll end this with, I will end with this. So subscribe to see what topic I'm going to talk about next, what book I'm going to summarize, or ideas I'm going to get inspired from and actually teach you so I can become better. Obviously, you can become better with me because I'm obviously teaching you. Subscribe.